Yo, what's up YouTube? So this video is about how I made $42,000 sports betting in 1 month in January. And I mean, I love sports. I also love gambling. In sports betting, just like poker, it's one of the rare few forms of gambling where you really can get an edge and win long term. I mean, there's a bit of a learning curve to understanding sharp, profitable betting strategies like arbitrage, like positive EV, but anybody can do this, okay? If you put in the work to learn about sharp, profitable sports betting, you absolutely can make money and beat the books long term. And what's so awesome about sports betting is now it's legal and it's mobile. So all these sports books are a tab click away. You can do this from home. Most days I wake up, I put on a t-shirt, I keep on my pajama pants, I log into my sports books, and I start placing bets. So January is one of the best months for sports betting because all major sports are going on, right? You have the NFL, you have the NBA in full swing, you have NHL, college basketball. There's a ton of sports going on, so that means, a ton of opportunity for sports bettors compared to a month like July, where there's basically only baseball going on and there's just not a lot of good bets. So January in general is one of the best months for sports betting. But anyways, in this video, my goal is to share tips and advice for making money beating the sports books and kind of give you a little recap of January and how I made $42,000 off of the sports books. So the bet tracker that I'm using that you can see on the screen, it's called Pickett Sports, and essentially it's just a verified bet tracker. You sync your sports books and then it'll show you your profit and loss. Obviously, as a sports bettor, you want to be able to look back over the previous month, over the previous year, make sure you're making money. And Pickett is also really cool because it'll show you your profit and loss by sportsbook, by sport, by league, which can help you see, if you don't make money betting on the NBA, maybe you need to change something up in your NBA betting strategy. But anyways, you can see I made $42,000 on roughly a 22% ROI. So if you kind of back out, how much did I have to bet total to make $42,000 profit? It was roughly $185,000, which seems like a lot, and maybe it is a lot, but that's only 5.9K per day. I was betting roughly on average $5,900 per day. And that really is the power of sports betting, is you're getting daily compounding. In general, it's not always the case for certain sports like the NFL, but in general, for college basketball, for NHL, for NBA, we're betting on games that are that day. So if you have a 2% ROI, as an example, on your NBA bets, just a 2% ROI, that's 60% over the course of the month. If you're betting every single day, you're getting a 2% ROI every day. So that's 60% in a month. So that's really the power of sports betting, is you're getting daily compounding, right? Like you think about the stock market, people are like, oh, invest your money in the stock market. It goes up 8% a year. And don't get me wrong, that's not bad advice. But if you think about sports betting, if you can just have a 1% ROI on your bets every single day, that's 365% ROI, return on capital, in a year. And that really is the power of sports betting. But anyways, another thing I want to mention about Pickett is you'll notice that I had a bad win-loss record. I had 188 wins in January, and I had 397 losses. So it may not make sense, wait, how did you go up $42,000 if you only had 188 wins and you had 397 losses? But again, in sports betting, win-loss record, it doesn't really matter. Imagine, for example, you're betting at plus 300 odds, which means betting 100 to win 300 in profit. So you're betting 100 to win 300 in profit, that's plus 300 odds. If you go 1 and 2, you win one bet, you lose 2 at plus 300 odds, and your unit size, let's say, is $100, you're still up $100 in profit. If you go 1 and 2, you win $300, you turn 100 into 300 profit on one bet, and then you lose 200 on the other two, you're still up $100 in profit. So long story short, if you're betting on underdogs, it's very normal to have a win-loss record where you have more losses than wins, but you're still up money. So in January, I used 10 sports books, and my top 2 sports books in terms of profit were Dabble, which is a relatively new book, and then Caesars Sportsbook. That was the bulk of my profits. And it may sound confusing. Why do you have to use multiple sports books? Why do you want to have as many sportsbook accounts as possible? If you think about investing, It doesn't really matter if you have Fidelity or Robinhood or E-Trade, because you're going to see the same price for every single stock. If you go to Fidelity, E-Trade, Robinhood, you're going to see the exact same price for Facebook, but that is not the case in sports betting. In sports betting, the market is extremely fragmented. It's super inefficient, however you want to think about it. And that's because all of these sports books, they all set their own odds. They all set their own lines. So I'll give you a simple example of a bet I locked in. I locked in Banchero over 4.5 assists at -115 odds. So I got this play on a sports book called Fliff. You can see they have his over at -115. You look at all the other sports books, they have this line around like -140. FanDuel has this at -146. That is why sports betting is so profitable and there's a lot of opportunity, is the market is super fragmented. It's super inefficient. All these books set their own odds and sometimes they get super out of sync. So you can see here, Fliff has this line at -115. All the other books have it at -150, so we're getting really good value on Fliff, and that's a play I locked in. So the best advice I ever got when I started sports betting from one of my previous bosses was treat sports betting like trading a stock, right? We're able to buy Banchero's over at -115 odds, or let's say it's like buying a stock at $115, -115 odds, when the rest of the market has it priced around $150. Right? $150 or -150 odds. So as a sports bettor, every pick I'm locking in, every bet I'm locking in, I'm finding value in the market. I'm ensuring that I'm getting a good price. That's essential as a sports bettor. You always want to be finding value in the market. You know, if you're betting on Banchero's over at -146 on FanDuel, when there's another book offering -115, you know you're getting ripped off, and nobody wins every bet. It's all about getting an edge, winning long-term, finding value in the market. So if you're placing bets at -146 when other books are offering -115, it's going to be really hard to make money. The second reason you want to have multiple sports books, aside from the fact that they all have different odds and lines and you never know which book is going to have the best bets, the most opportunity on a given day, is all of these books, they run promos, they run discounts. All these books are in competition with one another for new customers to keep people coming back to their platform. All these books do the same thing. They take bets. So they all run these promos and discounts to try to differentiate themselves, to try to keep people coming back to them. And you never know which book is going to have the best promos on a given day. So you can see for the Super Bowl, Prize Picks, which is a really popular sports book, they're discounting Mahomes to 0.5 passing yards, right? That's literally a free win. Obviously, Mahomes is going to go over 0.5 passing yards. It's literally a free win. And again, this promo is only available on Prize Picks. So the more books you have also means more promos, more easy value, the more money you're going to make. So for every new sports bettor, I recommend sign up for as many books as possible. All these books are legal in slightly different states. So I recommend checking a full list of all the books available in your location and sign up for every single one that's available in your state. Most of these books also offer pretty lucrative sign-up promos. A lot of these books have $100 deposit matches. You sign up, you put in $100, they give you $100 for free, right? It's a marketing cost for the sports books. For you, for us as sports bettors, these sign-up bonuses are basically free money. So I recommend taking advantage of every single one. So you want to be using as many sports books as possible. You never know which book is going to have the best opportunities, the best bets on a given day. But also you want to be betting on as many sports as possible. Okay, you never know, are the best bets going to be in the NBA? Or is the best value going to be in college basketball? So for all new sports bettors, I recommend bet on as many sports as possible. Okay, January was a great time of year to be a sports bettor because you have the NBA, you have the NFL, you have college basketball, you have the NHL. You have tons of sports going on. More sports means more profitable betting opportunities. So I believe, and as you can see in kind of, Pickett cuts off a little bit, but the NBA was my best sport in January. It was my most profitable sport, over $18,000 in profit. And what's great about the NBA is there's games every single day. I mean, I love football. I love watching football, but unfortunately, there's basically just games on Sunday, right? You got one game on Monday, you got one game on Thursday, but for the NBA, there's basically, 6 to 10 games every single day. So that means there's a lot of surface area for the sportsbooks to cover, a lot of opportunity for sportsbooks to screw up and offer value, and a lot of profitable bets. So the NBA, in my opinion, is the best sport to bet on. It's almost always my most profitable sport in a month. So long story short, bet on as many sports as possible. So in January, nearly all of my money was made betting on player props. And I really believe for sports bettors, betting on player props, that's where the opportunity is. That's where the edge is. And again, it kind of makes sense, right? If you think about a game, there's one spread, there's one money line, there's one total. But for every single NBA game, as an example, you have all the players, their assist props, their rebound props, defensive props, all that sort of thing. So that's a lot more surface area for the books to cover. For a given NBA game, there's one money line, but there's literally hundreds of player props, different things you can bet on. And a lot of times that's where the opportunity is. So most of my profits came from betting on player props, which is the same for most of my previous months. And I definitely recommend, if you're not already betting on player props, you want to look into them. There's a lot of opportunity in betting on, players, player points, things like that. But anyways, I hope you found this video helpful. Just a quick kind of recap of my January profit and loss, some tips and advice for new sports bettors on how you can beat the books, win long term. I really appreciate you tuning in. It would be great if you could like this video, if you could subscribe. Please comment any questions. I'm happy to respond to any questions. My goal is to help you beat the sports books, make as much money as possible. So if you have any questions, anything like that, feel free to comment them below. I'll be happy to answer. And thank you so much for your time.